Why INFJs and INTJs secretly dislike 99% of people. Why INFJ and INTJ secretly dislike 99% of people. That's the title of this video. First things first, who are INFJ and INTJ? Before we talk about why they dislike most people, we must first understand who they are. Because without understanding their nature, their behavior can easily be misunderstood as pride, coldness, or arrogance. But that is far from the truth. INFJ and INTJ are among the rarest personality types. They are deep thinkers, quiet observers, meaning seekers, and pattern finders. They don't just live life. They analyze it, question it, and try to improve it. Where others see events, they see connections. Where others see people, they see intentions. Where others see today, they see tomorrow. There's an old African proverb that says, "The one who listens deeply understands what is not being said." That is the world of INFJ and INTJ. The difference between the two, though similar in depth, they operate differently. INFJ, they are the insightful empaths. They feel deeply, they understand emotions, and they care about people and meaning. They seek harmony and purpose. They can walk into a room and feel the tension without anyone speaking. INTJ, they are the strategic thinkers. They think logically. They analyze systems. They focus on efficiency and long-term results. They value competence and independence. They can walk into the same room and immediately see what is not working and how to fix it. They have different paths, the INFJ and the INTJ, but both driven by depth and truth. Let me give you the story of the silent observer. There was a young man at a meeting. Everyone was talking loudly, laughing, interrupting each other. But in the corner sat one quiet individual. He said very little. People thought he is shy. He has nothing to say. But in reality, he had already understood everyone's personality, noticed the hidden tensions, identified the real problem behind the discussion. When he finally spoke, the room went silent, because in a few words, he said what others could not see. Now that is often an INFJ or INTJ. Still waters run deep. The other story is about the friend who walked away. A woman had many friends. She laughed with them, spent time with them, and seemed happy. But slowly she began to withdraw. She noticed conversations were always shallow. Loyalty was weak. People talked behind each other's back. One day she quietly distanced herself. No drama, no announcement. People said, "She thinks she's better than us." But the truth was simple. She wanted real connection, not noise. That is the quiet decision many INFJ make. The other story is about the problem solver no one listened to. In a workplace, there was one person who always saw problems before they happened. He would say, "This system will fail. This plan is not sustainable." But others ignored him. They preferred quick results over careful thinking. Months later, everything went wrong, exactly as he predicted. People were shocked. He was not. He had already seen it. That is the mind of an INTJ. The one who sees ahead is often ignored until the truth arrives. Why they are misunderstood? Because INFJ and INTJ speak less, think more, feel, or analyze deeply. They are often labeled as arrogant, distant, cold, or too serious. But the truth is they are not disconnected from people. They are disconnected from superficiality. Inside, they carry big ideas, deep emotions, complex thoughts, strong values. But they don't share this with everyone. Why? Because they have learned. Not everyone understands depth and not everyone respects it. INFJ and INTJ are like people who prefer deep oceans. But most of the world lives in shallow water. So when they step into shallow spaces, they feel restricted, unfulfilled, and out of place. And over time, they quietly step back, not out of pride, but out of alignment. Before judging INFJ and INTJ, understand this. They are not trying to be different. They simply cannot pretend to be something they are not. A lion does not change its walk because of dogs. And once you understand who they are, everything else begins to make sense, including why they seem to dislike most people. Now, why INFJ and INTJ dislike 99% of the people? The quiet truth that no one talks about. INFJ and INTJ are often misunderstood. On the outside, they may seem calm, polite, even friendly. But deep inside, there's a quiet truth they rarely say out loud. They don't genuinely connect with most people. It is not arrogance. It is not hatred. It is not even intentional. It's mismatch. They live in a world of depth, meaning, patterns, and purpose. While most people operate on surface level conversations, social expectations, and emotional reactions. There's an old proverb that says, the eagle does not flock with pigeons. INFJ and INTJ are those eagles, not better, they're just different. They crave depth, not noise. Most people enjoy small talk, weather, gossip, trends, social drama. INFJ and INTJ, it drains them. They want conversations like, why do people behave the way they do? What is the meaning behind suffering? How can systems be improved? What is the long-term consequence of today's choices? When forced into shallow interactions, they feel like they are suffocating. Empty vessels make the loudest noise. This is why they often withdraw, not because they hate people, but because they cannot breathe in shallow waters. The INFJ and INTJ are highly observant. They see through people quickly. They notice inconsistencies in behavior, hidden motives, fake kindness, manipulation. While others are still trying to understand someone, these types have already read the entire emotional script. And here is the problem. Once they see the truth, they cannot unsee it. A person pretending to be kind, a leader driven by ego, a friend who only calls when they need something. It becomes painfully obvious. When the eyes see clearly, the heart cannot pretend. This awareness creates distance. INFJ and INTJ value one thing above almost everything: authenticity. But in the real world, many people wear masks, follow the crowd, say what is popular instead of what is true. They avoid honesty to maintain comfort. This frustrates them deeply. They are not impressed by status, popularity, or noise. They are drawn to truth, depth, realness. When they don't find it, they quietly disengage. INFJ and INTJ secretly dislike most people because they are easily drained by people. Social interaction for most people is energizing. For INFJ and INTJ, it is often exhausting. Why? Because they think deeply, they process constantly, they analyze everything. Being around too many people is like having too many tabs open in the brain. After a while, everything slows down. So they withdraw, not out of dislike, but survival. Even the strongest well runs dry if overused. The INFJ and INTJ, they value meaning over popularity. Most people want to be liked, to belong, to fit in. INFJ and INTJ want to understand, to improve, to find meaning. This creates a gap. They often look at social dynamics and think, why are people chasing approval instead of purpose? Because of this, they may come across as distant or uninterested, but in reality, they are simply focused on something deeper. They have high standards for connection. INFJ and INTJ don't want many relationships. They want real ones. They value loyalty, honesty, depth, and growth. And they can sense when a relationship is one-sided, superficial, and draining. Instead of forcing it, they step back. This is why their circle is small. Better one loyal friend than 1,000 shadows. INFJ and INTJ dislike most people because they are sensitive to negative energy. Even when they don't show it, INFJ especially absorb emotional energy. They feel tension in a room, hidden resentment, emotional dishonesty. INTJ, on the other hand, detect irrational thinking, poor logic, inefficiency. Both types become frustrated when surrounded by drama, chaos, and emotional instability. So they avoid it, and unfortunately, much of society operates in exactly that way. The INFJ and INTJ prefer solitude over fake company. They're not afraid to be alone. In fact, they often prefer it because in solitude they can think clearly, they can recharge, they can be themselves. Compare that to being in a room full of people where conversations feel forced, energy feels heavy, authenticity is missing. The choice becomes obvious. It is better to walk alone than with a crowd going nowhere. It is not hatred, it's selectivity. Let's be clear, INFJ and INTJ do not hate 99% of people. They simply don't resonate, they don't connect, they don't feel understood. They are highly selective, not hostile. When they find their kind of people, they are warm, loyal, and deeply caring. Surprisingly expressive. But those people are rare. So they wait, quietly, patiently, watching, because they understand something many don't. Not everyone is meant to walk with you, and that is not a loss, it is clarity. INFJ and INTJ live in a world where depth is rare, truth is uncomfortable, and authenticity is scarce. So they protect their energy. Not everyone will understand them, and they are okay with that because at the end of the day, they would rather be alone in truth than surrounded by illusion. They see patterns others ignore. INFJ and INTJ don't just look at people, they study patterns. They notice repeated behaviors, cycles of failure, predictable emotional reactions, long-term consequences of short-term thinking. While others see isolated events, they see systems. So when someone says, this time will be different, INFJ and INTJ quietly think, no, the pattern says otherwise. A wise person sees the storm while it is still a cloud. This ability makes them skeptical and often distant. They are not easily impressed. Many people are impressed by money, fame, titles, and social influence. But INFJ and INTJ ask, is this person genuine? Do they think deeply? Do they stand for something real? A wealthy person with no depth does not impress me. A loud person with no substance does not move them. Not everything that glitters is gold. Because of this, they often feel disconnected from what society celebrates. INFJ and INTJ hate repetition without growth. One of the biggest frustrations for these people is people who never learn. They observe the same mistakes repeated, the same excuses recycled, the same toxic cycles continuing. And it drains them. They think, if you can see the problem, why not fix it? But many people prefer comfort over change. Madness is doing the same thing and expecting different results. So this gap in mindset creates quite frustration and distance. The INFJ and INTJ value truth even when it hurts. They are willing to face uncomfortable truths. Most people are not. Many prefer comfort over honesty, illusion over reality, approval over truth. This creates tension because when INFJ or INTJ speak honestly, they are often seen as too blunt, too intense, too serious. But to them, truth is not cruelty, it is clarity. The truth may hurt, but a lie will destroy. INFJ and INTJ feel misunderstood most of their lives. From a young age, many INFJ and INTJ feel different. They may think differently, they may ask deeper questions, they may struggle to relate to peers, and often they are told, you think too much, relax, it's not that deep. But for them, everything is deep. Over time, they stop trying to explain themselves. The child who is not understood learns to speak less. This leads to emotional distance from most people. They don't tolerate fake relationships. They would rather have no friends than fake friends. They can sense forced interactions, hidden intentions, surface level connections. and they refuse to play along. While others maintain relationships for convenience, they ask what is the real connection here. If there is none, they quietly withdraw. A borrowed friendship is never yours. The INFJ and INTJ, they think long-term, while others think short-term. They are future-oriented. They think about consequences, strategy, sustainability, growth over time. But many people think about immediate pleasure, short-term gains, and quick validation. This difference creates frustration. They often watch people make decisions that will clearly backfire and feel powerless to stop it. The one who plants a tree thinks of tomorrow. The INFJ and INTJ are selectively social, not antisocial. Many people misunderstand them. They assume you don't like people, you are too quiet, you are antisocial. But the truth is, they are selective, not antisocial. When they find the right people, they talk deeply, they laugh freely, they open up. But with the wrong crowd, they shut down. Not every door is meant to be opened. The INFJ and INTJ, they protect their inner world. They have rich inner worlds, ideas, visions, emotions, reflections, but they don't share this easily. Why? Because they have learned not everyone understands, not everyone respects depth, not everyone values vulnerability, so they protect it. A precious stone is not displayed in the market. So this makes them seem distant, but it is actually self-preservation. The INFJ and INTJ, they would rather be alone than betrayed. At their core, they fear one thing deeply, betrayal of trust. Because when they open up, they open deeply. So instead of risking disloyalty, manipulation, emotional dishonesty, they choose solitude. And in that solitude, they find peace, clarity, and strength. Better to be alone than in bad company. So INFJ and INTJ are not difficult people. They are deep people in a shallow world. They don't dislike people out of arrogance. They withdraw because they see too much. They feel too deeply. They think too far ahead. And most importantly, they refuse to live on the surface. So when they walk away, they stay quiet or keep their circle small. It is not rejection, it is alignment. When you know your worth, you stop giving discounts. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you've learned a thing or two. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel if you've not done so. Thank you.